Steve, this week we're putting our dukes up and we're going to try to fight our way out of this one. Steve, this week we're checking out a pretty cool turn-based action game, Fights in Tight Spaces. We're playing this one on Steam, and I don't know, I know you probably haven't played a ton of these games. I've played a few games like this, Slay the Spire being probably one of the closest draws or kind of closest comparisons to this style of game, and we kind of get a bit of a John Wick feel here a little bit, don't we? Because the main character is basically Agent 11, and we're kind of tasked with kind of moving along and getting through and taking out this biker gang, and then as we move through the story, you know, we're starting to take out ninjas and other things along the way. It's a very interesting game. It's very stylized. I think it kind of looks a lot like Super Hot in the sense that, you know, it's very white, black, red. The enemies are all red. I mean, it just has that look to it. I thought it was actually done pretty well. I had a lot of fun jumping into it, but what were your kind of initial reactions, Steve?
Well, this is my very first turn-based tactical card-playing game. I played card games before, like that turn-based thing, but this was a little bit unique for me because all the cards in your hand are just combat moves, whether it's a jab or if it's a kick or punch or a push. And the push does come in handy, or a head smash, but you also get movement cards as well and things like that. Going to the art style, the simplicity of it works wonders with this game. Your character, as you said, Agent 11, you're a silhouette of a guy all blacked out, and your enemies are different colors depending on their strengths or their abilities. And you start off with the basic ones, which are just red, just red characters. The background, like you said, is just black and white, and you get outlines of obstacles on the actual map. Tiles, floor systems for you to move, and you can move your camera around. And I had so much fun, but boy, it was tough. The best way I could think of it is it's got to kind of be like a chess player. It's definitely a strategic kind of game that is very good and hard to master.
Oh, I hear you, man. That's the style of these games, right? They're punishing, and there is a bit of a learning curve because these games, it's all about the strategy. You're moving around in this particular game at very tight space. Every map that you drop into usually has, 2 to 5 enemies initially, and we don't have a ton of a grid space here to move around. It's usually a small gas station or the inside of a bar. That's the idea here. We're supposed to be doing a lot of hand-to-hand combat. Some of the enemies will have guns and other styles of weapons as you kind of move through these levels, and you travel through on the map, and it's node based, so we kind of start off in one spot and then we can branch out on separate paths depending on kind of how we want to determine how that run is going to go. And we may run into medical tents where we can get health back, or we may be able to upgrade our weapons along the way, or our cards, so to say. And the idea here is that there's a basic kind of all-around deck that we get to start with. And the way the combat works is we get action points. Well, fans of the genre will know action points is what we normally call them. This game actually calls them momentum points. So these momentum points are actually labeled on the cards, and depending on, the type of attack or the movement, they'll cost a certain amount of momentum. So you usually start the round with 3 momentum and kind of move from there. Sometimes cards will grant you more or refresh points that you've used. So depending on the deck you use, there's actually 5 separate decks outside of the main deck, and they kind of all specialize in a different area. I found that the defensive deck really worked for me because I use the block a lot, which is kind of a shield in the sense that it gives you more points on top of your hit points for your character. Because once you're dead here, Steve, you're dead, and it doesn't matter where you are in this run. I'm kind of going full circle here with the difficulty. You're gonna die, and you're gonna have to start all over again. And that can be the frustrating portion here, especially if you're a new player to this genre. It can be very difficult to get into if you're just kind of being punished over and over again. But I know, Steve, we definitely had a really good time with certain aspects of this game, but when we get into the upgrading and the currency we get, I know you had a bit of an issue.
Oh, yes. Oh, definitely. Because if you get a certain amount of moves to complete an area, they'll say, like, you can do it in 5 turns, 6 turns, whatever. And the idea is if you do it in those times, you get currency. And I think it was only like, is it like 30 euros or something like that?
Yeah.
And then you go to, and then as you progress, there'll be the waypoints of like medical, where you can actually go in there and you can upgrade your cards, buy some health and this, but you never have enough currency to start off with to upgrade your health or even just improve it. And if you do, I think it only goes up by about 5 points or something, whatever your maximum health level bar is.
Mm-hmm.
So I found that very frustrating because every time I got past like medical points, if I died, I have to redo it all over again.
Yeah.
But also summarizing what you're saying about the upgrades and the movement of the place, of the gameplay, I definitely like the like defensive ones, like you said, like the pushing.
Mm-hmm.
I like the push card because if you can push an enemy out of a door, then they're out altogether.
Yes.
That eliminates it. The other one I did like, I know it's a bit gory, and you will get quite a few blood splatters on these nice white walls.
Yes, you will.
It's the head smash.
Mm-hmm.
That one was another cool one. I like the head smash ones because if they're a lower enemy, then it will just wipe them out altogether. I just want to add one little bit as well.
Yeah.
The other bit as well they've added in this is, it reminds me of like the John Wick Hex.
Yes.
Is once you complete a mission, you can actually replay and watch the video of the combat fight.
Yes.
And I thought that was such a sweet, cool touch where you see your character doing the punching and kicking them out. And oh, that looks pretty cool. So I do like that extra feature they added in this game as well, to actually see the replay without any distractions of just the walkthrough of everything. So that was a nice, cool feature. I like to sort of touch on that idea as well.
No, for sure, man. That was great.
So I think we've kind of, I mean, for a simplistic game, but very hard and challenging, I think we've touched on everything here of the premises of the game. So fights in tight spaces, where are you going to score this one?
You know what? I had a tough time initially because I'm not great at these games, I'll self-admit, but I do enjoy them. And this game, I really did enjoy. I thought it was simple enough. It taught me how to get into the game really quickly, really easily. I love the art style. The music kind of just was, the finishing touch. It kind of just added to everything, enhanced the entire experience. I got to give this one a 7.5, Steve.
I'm with you. I love the art style, the music. It is very addictive, but I did get very frustrated and a bit repetitive on keep doing the Bikers Gang one over and over and over again. And I was a little bit disappointed as well with the currency when you actually do complete these chapters in certain card moves. So like you, I'm going to give this a 7.5 out of 10.
Nice.
With its unique art style, the stylish blend of combat deck building, turn-based tactics is a lot of fun. But if you die through the chapter, you have to start back at the beginning, which becomes very repetitive, fighting the same enemy again. And completing areas within the set amount of moves does not reward you enough currency to purchase health or upgrades to continue.